First, I would like to give all honor and praises and thanks to the God of our fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob, the great, mighty, and benevolent God that remembered the covenant that he made with our fathers and did not leave us in the lands of the captivity, but has delivered us out of the iron furnace and allowed us once again in our generations to tread upon that great and holy land of ours. I greet you in peace.
Likewise.
To all the elders of the congregation, may the Holy One of Israel bless you, keep you, give you eternal peace, and I pray that in continuing on this path that he will allow you to experience eternal life.
Hallelujah.
To all of those on the dais, Pastor Nava, Queen Mother, Sister Thomas, Councilwoman Tanubu, and to all of you that have taken the time out of your schedules to come and to share these precious moments with the God family, I am thankful and I am grateful. I would like to touch upon a subject this evening which is called the greater laws versus the lesser laws. Somewhere along this path, the great majority of our people have been convinced that law has been abolished, that with the coming of the Lord, the law is no more. But what I want you to do this evening, I want you to think, because there is no practical way out of the dilemma that we find ourselves in, except that we are able to invoke God in our struggle on our side. Forget it. No way to win. No practical way out of this. And I want to remind you again that when I say God, I'm not talking about religion. You have been taught to respond as the system desired for you to respond. When I say God, you think religion. Subsequently, you become defensive, thinking that I'm trying to convert you to my religion. The Bible from Genesis to Malachi does not deal with religion.
That's right.
The commandments, thou shalt not steal, is not a religion. Thou shalt not commit adultery is not a religion. Thou shalt love he that made you with all your heart, soul, and might is not a religion.
Come on.
From Genesis, God has been trying. He made us in his image. And he simply gave us a way of life to give respect unto him and to remain in harmony with the environment upon which we depended. But knowing in the last days, the adversary knowing that in the last days we would have to invoke God into our struggle on our side, he told us where to find God. And he told us that you find God via religion. But he defined that for us. There is a distinct difference between religion and righteousness. Religion was created in the image of man. You can find a religion that will allow you to do whatever you want to do because it was made in your image. But righteousness creates you in the image of God. There is a distinct difference between the two. Righteousness to say that you believe in God. But there is a difference. Everybody is a believer. If you go through the African American community, you'll find everybody saying they believe in God. When is the last time you met an African American atheist? But the problem then, if that's all that it took was believing, we wouldn't be in this predicament. Go through this audience, go through the communities and find me an African American that is an atheist to say he does not believe in God. And you have been taught just to believe. We've been believing for 400 years. Just believe. Believing in God is one thing. That makes you accountable for what you say. But the worship of God, to believe in God and to worship God is two different things. To believe in God makes you accountable for what you say. To worship God makes you accountable for what you do. That's why you keep on believing and you don't want to worship. Because to believe you don't have to change. But to worship,
You got to change.
you got to change. You got to change. And that's where the problems begin. You don't want to change. But then, I'm talking about change and you react as if it's something new. Something that you're not familiar with. You get nervous and you get all tense. But wait a minute. Since the mid-60s to the mid-90s, are you the same person? Are you changing?
Absolutely.
My sister, are the styles today as same as they were in the mid-60s?
No way.
Are the children, parents, are you allowing children to do things in the mid-90s that you did not allow them to do in the mid-60s? Are styles changing? Your way of life in America changing? Politics changing? You familiar with change? But when I come, the question simply is, has your change brought you closer unto God? You familiar with change? So why you get tight when I'm talking about change? I'm just talking about a change that will draw you closer unto God. You've been changing for 30 years. So don't get nervous because I'm talking about change. My question simply is, the African American family today, are they closer to God through their changes in the last 30 years or farther away from God?
Farther away.
Have you been changing? Certainly you've been changing. The question is, you've been changing and getting farther away from God. I'm talking about change. Change is nothing new, but you got to change your direction. You're not remaining the same in America. So don't get tight when I tell you got to change. Have you ever stopped to consider? I want you to think that possibly there is something wrong with this social system. Now, I don't mean just wrong in the sense of, well, there's something wrong with all of the social systems. Something beyond that. Have you ever stopped to think there's something ultra wrong with this social system? Wherever we are on this planet under this social system, we are catching hell. Whether the leader is black or white, it does not matter. Have you ever stopped to think then that maybe the problem is this social system? Now, there are only two forces on this planet vying for the souls of men. I don't want it to be 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7. Only two, God and Satan. I've got a little question. If I gave the young man here, if I gave you the mind of God and let you go on the earth, what would you build on the earth? With the mind of God, what would you build on the earth?
God.
You would build a paradise, wouldn't you? If all of you all were possessed with the mind of God, what else could you build except a paradise? So if you were all equipped with the mind of God, you would build a paradise on the earth. Another question. If you were equipped with the mind of Satan, if you were equipped with the mind of Satan and I let you go on this earth, what would you build?
Hell on earth.
What else could you build except a hell on earth? I don't want this to be complicated to you. Now, death by lethal injection, hanging, electric chair, drive-by shooting, AIDS, cancer, heart attacks, rape, murder, infanticide, matricide, petricide, homicide, scared, bars at your doors, guards in the front yard, dogs in the little pen, you know, dogs in the bedroom. Now, tell me, scared to go in, scared to leave out. Now, what do you think that is? Now, who told you? Now, to build a world like that, what kind of a mind
Satanic.
Now, don't be ashamed because we got a testimony. Just go outside. You can't hide it as if I don't know.
Right.
Disease is running rampant. Fear. Children gone. Wholesome food gone. Fresh air gone. Ozone layer. Holes in the ozone layer. All of the water polluted. How do you pollute all of the water? It takes a great effort. Now, mind you, an individual that knew that I had to drink water, and he would pollute my water, and if I was his adversary, I could understand that. And an individual that knew that I had to eat food, and he poisoned my food, I could understand that. But an individual that poisons his own water, knowing he got to drink it, his own food, knowing he has to eat it, his own air, knowing he has to breathe it, and you want me to follow him?
No way.
You telling me? Now wait a minute. Have they polluted their own water?
Yeah.
Their own air?
Yeah.
Their own wholesome food?
Yeah.
Do they sell cigarettes to their own citizens?
Yeah.
But they don't know that they cause cancer though.
400,000 a year die.
Do they sell alcohol knowing that it's destroying the liver?
Yeah.
What do you think this is? What did you envision hell to be like? Tell me, see, you've got the storybook mentality. I don't know what you thought hell was to be like. Now, I just simply ask you, when you go home this evening, pull out a little pad and a pencil, and I want you to envision hell. And I want you to write down on the piece of paper what you feel that hell would be like. Hell, scared, killing, murder. And I guarantee you, you're going to get a little down, you're going to look up and you're going to say, what?
I'm in hell.
I'm in hell. Guarantee you. Who told you? Deception. Who has built this world that you think is the best thing going? Don't you know that only an evil mind could build a system like this? What do you think? What do we call it? It's not heaven, is it?
No.
No. Brothers and sisters, the greater law versus the lesser law. You never consider law by the things that you are allowed to do. In most instances, when you think about law, you think about things that are fixing to be taken away from you. You're not going to be allowed to do. But reverse that and consider law in the terms of things that you are allowed to do. Now tell me, where could such things as these be legal? You're looking at all of these things are legal. Who would legalize such things, and where would they be legal? Say it again. Only in hell. But if you don't understand where you are, you won't make the effort to get out or to change it. The worst thing that you can do to a fool is convince him that he's intelligent. The best thing that you can do to a fool is make him understand what? That he's a fool. Because if he understands that he's a fool, he will make the effort to change. They've given you a mythical understanding of where hell is, down beneath the earth. Hell never was down beneath the earth. Hell was down beneath heaven. Heaven was never beneath. We're talking about a place on this planet ruled by the lesser law, and through deception you have been giving the impression that laws have been abolished. Every individual on this planet is being governed by law. Someone has convinced you that Paul or someone has said, the Hellenists have said, that the coming of the Lord and the law has been abolished and we are now under grace. I'm simply telling you the truth, not to denigrate what you believe, but don't you know the problem is what you believe, because what you believe is allowing you to do that. This is all a part of the legal things in the society, and you being governed by the lesser laws, this is permissible to you because it is permissible in the society. What happened? Now, let us think. Say that you're under grace. I just want you to hear me. Fine, you under grace. But in Britain, you under law. Is that correct?
Correct.
Germany, you under law. France, you under law. Portugal, America, you are under law. Is that correct?
Correct.
So fine, if you under grace, so they must be able to coexist, because your grace is not affecting one thing. You are still governed by law. But when I mention the laws of God, you say that is no more, because you under grace. Grace does not affect the laws of America, does it?
No.
You under grace in America?
No way.
If you under grace in America, you still are governed by law. Why can't you stay under grace and be governed by God's law? Listen to me. Your grace isn't affecting you being governed by British law, French law, German law, American law. Why does grace affect you being governed by the laws of God? Who would put that into you? Listen to me. Please listen to me. Because your redemption depends upon you understand. My people are being destroyed because of a lack of knowledge. God knowledge, not Harvard and Yale knowledge. God knowledge. You really think that you under grace and the law is no more. The greater laws are no more in your life, but you are being governed by law. Which laws? You are being governed by the lesser laws. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Laws govern these social systems. These social systems are being governed by the lesser law, the laws of beneath, the laws of below, the laws of the under heaven, the laws of the underworld. This is a world governed by laws, lesser laws, allowing you to do all of the things that will cause you to walk contrary to God. Legally, the system, an anti-God system, would have to legalize and allow the people to do the things that will cause them to walk contrary unto God. Tell me, those things that they're allowing, and all of you that have condoned them, are you walking contrary to God?
Absolutely.
Legal. Laws are governing you. You've got to understand they have tricked our people. They've got you thinking that law is gone. Law has been abrogated. Only the greater laws have been abrogated. The lesser laws still govern every one of you in this auditorium. You are being governed by law. Is that correct?
Correct.
If you're in this society and you say that you're under grace, fine. But are you under grace and law?
Yes.
And they seem to get along pretty good, don't they? Now you run that red light. You know why all of those brothers are in prison? Law. They violated the laws of man. But when I talk about the laws of God, you say, it is no more. The laws of God were too harsh. Oh, back in the Old Testament, they were so cruel. Think! They've tricked you. Don't you know the devil has to keep the people of God walking contrary to the only thing that can redeem and deliver them? Your strength is in God. He has to keep you walking in opposition to God, because God holds the key to your redemption.